The old man had carved out a simple, yet fulfilling life in the small town where he had spent decades. His days were marked by routine, a rhythm that brought comfort and familiarity. Every morning, as the sun peeked over the horizon, he would shuffle to his front porch, sipping coffee while gazing at the world waking up around him. The centerpiece of his modest existence was his aging pickup truck, a rusty but reliable companion that had seen better days. This truck was not just a means of transportation. It was a vessel of memories that had carried him through countless seasons, from hauling firewood in the winter to taking his grandchildren on fishing trips in the summer. Each dent and scratch told a story, a testament to the life he had built and the people he cherished. He often joked that it had more character than most people he knew. Living in a small, weathered house with peeling paint, the old man embodied resilience. He had faced his share of hardships, but his spirit remained unbroken. The community knew him as a kind-hearted soul, always ready to lend a hand or share a laugh. Despite the challenges that life threw his way, he approached each day with gratitude, content to find joy in the little things. Yet, on this particular day, as he sat on his porch, sipping his coffee and reflecting on the past, he had no inkling that an unexpected encounter was about to unfold, one that would change everything in ways he could never imagine. The small town where the old man lived was a picture of Americana, with tree-lined streets that whispered tales of generations past. Quaint houses, much like his own, dotted the landscape, their front yards adorned with wildflowers and the occasional garden gnome. As the sun bathed everything in a warm golden hue, the town bustled gently to life, with neighbors greeting one another and children scurrying off to school, their laughter echoing through the air. The old man's porch provided a perfect vantage point to observe this daily symphony. From there, he could see the local diner, its neon sign flickering cheerfully as the smell of fresh coffee wafted through the open door. Just down the street, the general store stood proudly, a hub for residents seeking everything from groceries to gossip. On this particular morning, however, something felt different. That a low rumble echoed in the distance, a sound that seemed out of place amidst the familiar chorus of chirping birds and rustling leaves. The old man squinted into the distance, curious about the source of the unusual noise. As he took another sip of his coffee, he noticed a convoy of vehicles approaching. The sight stirred a sense of anticipation within him. Little did he know that this ordinary day, marked by its routine charm, was on the brink of an unexpected twist that would soon disrupt his peaceful existence in ways he could never foresee. As the convoy of vehicles rolled into view, the old man set his coffee cup down, intrigued by the sight. That a group of uniformed officers emerged from shiny SUVs, their authoritative demeanor contrasting sharply with the laid-back atmosphere of the town. The old man's heart raced slightly. He had seen many changes in his lifetime, but he had never been at the center of something quite like this. One officer, taller than the rest with a commanding presence, approached the old man's porch. With a polite nod, he lifted his hand and called out, "Excuse me, sir." His voice was steady yet respectful. "Could you please move your truck to make way for the convoy? We need to set up some security detail for a special visitor." The request took the old man by surprise. He blinked several times, processing not only the request but the implications behind it. The special visitor. His aging truck might be in the way of something significant. At first, he felt a flicker of annoyance. After all, that truck was part of his morning routine. But then curiosity overtook him. This was unlike anything he had ever encountered in his quiet town. "Of course," he replied, forcing himself to maintain composure despite his heart beating faster. "Just give me a moment." As he stood up and reached for his keys, he sensed that this moment would lead to something far greater than just moving a truck. It felt as if history were about to unfold right before him. As the old man's fingers wrapped around the keys to his truck, the anticipation in the air thickened. Moments later, the door of one of the SUVs swung open, and out stepped a figure that commanded immediate attention. A general in full uniform. The sun glinted off his polished metals and insignia, each piece of decorum telling a story of honor and service. With an air of confidence and grace, he emerged from the vehicle, surveying his surroundings with an intensity that seemed to captivate everyone present. The townsfolk paused in their daily routines, drawn by the aura of authority and respect that radiated from him. His crisp, tailored uniform was a stark contrast to the casual attire of the residents. It spoke volumes about his rank and experience. The general walked with purpose, each step measured as if he carried not only his own weight, but also that of those who had served alongside him. The old man watched closely, noticing how even the children playing nearby instinctively hushed their laughter, giving way to wide-eyed admiration. That as whispers spread through the gathered crowd. Who was this man? What brought him here? The old man felt a strange sense of pride welling within him, mixed with a tingling curiosity about what might unfold next. With every second that passed, it became evident that this encounter was more than just an ordinary visit. It was an intersection of lives where roles were about to shift dramatically, igniting a moment that would linger long in their memories today. The old man stepped off his porch and approached his truck. A mix of emotions swirled within him. He felt a twinge of confusion at the suddenness of the request to move his vehicle, wondering what could possibly necessitate such urgency. The quiet rhythm of his life had been interrupted by this unexpected convoy, and he couldn't shake the feeling that something monumental was unfolding beyond his grasp. When he caught sight of the general emerging from the SUV, a deep respect settled over him like a warm blanket. The old man's heart swelled with pride and nostalgia as he reflected on the sacrifices made by those who had served their country. Memories of his own youthful days flashed before him, times when he had stood up for what he believed in, though never in a uniform as regal as this general's. The gleam of those medals not only captured the sunlight, but seemed to encapsulate a lifetime of dedication and honor. Instinctively, he straightened his posture, feeling both small and significant. In that moment, he also sensed the townspeople's awe filtering through the air. Their expressions mirrored his feelings. Part of him was still annoyed at being put on the spot, yet that annoyance faded as admiration took its place. This was not just about moving a truck. It was about standing witness to an event steeped in history. Suddenly, he realized that this moment could be more than just an interruption. It could be a chance to connect with something greater than himself. The old man finished moving his truck, he turned to face the general, who approached him with a warm, respectful smile. "Thank you for your cooperation, sir. I know this may seem sudden, but it's important," the general said, his voice steady yet approachable. The old man cleared his throat, suddenly feeling the weight of his own words. "Not a problem at all, General. It's an honor to have someone like you in our town," he replied, trying to mask any nervousness. The general nodded appreciatively, the glint of his medals catching the sunlight. "I appreciate your service to our country," the general continued, eyes softening. "People like you, those who carry our values in everyday life, are what keep this nation strong." The old man chuckled lightly, brushing his hand across the side of his truck as if to connect its history with the moment. "I'm just a simple guy, General. This old truck has seen more action than I have." "Nonsense," the general replied with a hearty laugh. "Every role matters. Besides, your truck tells its own story." The conversation flowed naturally, each word exchanged deepening the old man's respect for the figure in front of him. But as they spoke, the tension that initially filled the air dissipated into camaraderie. In that brief interlude, he felt as though he stood not merely in the presence of authority, but as a part of something greater and profoundly significant. A moment steeped in honor and connection between generations. As their conversation continued, the old man found himself drawn to the general's eyes, which seemed to reflect a depth of understanding that transcended their immediate encounter. "You know," the old man began hesitantly, "I served in the army back in my younger days." The general's expression shifted to one of recognition and respect. "Really? What unit were you with?" he asked, leaning in slightly as if to draw out more of the old man's story. 197th Infantry Brigade, the old man replied, feeling a wave of nostalgia wash over him. "We were deployed during some tough times that I never saw combat firsthand, but I was proud to wear that uniform." The general nodded solemnly. "Every service matters, sir. Each soldier contributes to the larger mission, whether on the front lines or supporting from behind." A bond of shared experience formed between them, igniting a flicker of kinship. They exchanged stories about their respective times in service, realizing they had crossed paths in ways they had never anticipated. The old man spoke of his comrades and the camaraderie forged in hardship, The general shared tales from his career that echoed similar sentiments of loyalty and sacrifice that I in this moment of vulnerability. They uncovered a deeper connection rooted not only in their military backgrounds, but also in their shared love for community that it became clear that both valued the unsung heroes. The everyday people who upheld traditions and values through simple acts of kindness and duty as they stood there together. A profound respect was solidified, linking their lives across generations and reaffirming the importance of honoring those who served. As the old man stood by his truck, weighing the general's request against his own principles. A sense of duty welled up within him. He had always valued respect for those in authority and felt an innate obligation to support the men and women who served their country. The general's dignified presence and shared military background resonated with him on a personal level, stirring memories of camaraderie and sacrifice from his own time in service. Though he cherished his daily routines, the old man recognized that this moment was about more than just moving his truck. It was an opportunity to contribute to something greater. It would be easy to dismiss the request as an inconvenience, yet something compelled him to complied. He thought about the sacrifices made by countless soldiers and how they often put their lives on hold for the greater good. How could I do anything less? He mused, feeling a surge of pride swell within him. With a deep breath, he made his decision. This was a chance to honor not only his own past, but also the present moments of significance unfolding before him. He would move his truck, not merely out of obligation, but from a genuine desire to support the efforts that brought the community together while showing respect for the uniform that had inspired him. As he climbed into the cab of his pickup, he felt a renewed sense of connection, not just to the general, but to all those who served, reaffirming his place within a larger tapestry woven from shared values and profound respect. After the old man moved his truck, he felt a weight lift from his shoulders, replaced by a sense of fulfillment as he returned to where the general stood. The convoy continued to set up for the special event, and the townspeople gathered around, their curiosity piqued by the unfolding scene. Whispers of admiration rippled through the crowd as they observed the general engage not only with their neighbor, but with them. Acknowledging their presence, the general turned toward the onlookers. He raised a hand in greeting, prompting a collective response of reverence from the townsfolk. "Thank you all for your patience," he said, his voice carrying authority yet warmth. "It's this community that strengthens our nation." The old man watched as people nodded in agreement and exchanged proud glances, realizing they were part of something significant. In that moment, he felt a swell of pride not just for himself, but for everyone present. He noticed how different faces lit up with renewed energy, inspired by the general's visit. Children gazed wide-eyed at their parents, some asking questions about service and sacrifice, while adults exchanged stories about their own experiences with military families. For the old man, this experience had transformed an ordinary day into one marked by connection and renewed purpose. The general's presence made him feel seen and valued within his community, reinforcing the importance of shared histories. As he walked back to join his neighbors, he realized that this encounter had deepened not only his respect for service members, but also his appreciation for the bonds that unite everyday citizens in support of one another. As the festivities continued, the old man took a moment to reflect on everything that had transpired. What began as a simple request to move his truck had unfolded into a series of profound connections that highlighted the importance of honor and respect across generations. He realized that in his willingness to comply, he had not only shown courtesy to a figure of authority, but had also opened the door to a meaningful exchange that bridged gaps between past and present. The gathering of townspeople standing together, united by a sense of shared history and purpose, served as a reminder that community is built on such moments of connection. The general's presence was not just indicative of his rank, but symbolized a lineage of service, sacrifice, and values that resonated with the old man, values he had upheld during his own time in the army. In witnessing this intertwining of personal stories and collective pride, he felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude for his own experiences. This encounter served as a testament to the power of even the smallest actions. A single request can lead to ripples of change, fostering understanding and recognition. The old man knew that he would carry this moment with him always, Cherishing the friendships formed and the lessons learned that IT reminded him that honor and respect are not merely awarded through titles or accolades, but are earned through shared experiences and mutual admiration, enriching everyone involved. As he joined the crowd, he felt invigorated by the sense of belonging and purpose cultivated in that small town, knowing he had played a part in something truly special.